Welcome everyone back to the UK Journeyman Save. In today's episode, we have two games in League One. We're at home to Wimbledon, who currently sits 7th, and then we're at home to Millwall, who are currently 3rd. Since you last left us, it wasn't that long ago. To be fair, we've continued our good run. We beat Gillingham in the league, drew Bolton in the league, beat Doncaster, and then beat Solihull of National League North in the FA Cup, which has gave us a second round tie in the FA Cup to Lincoln, who are a League Two side, so nothing really major there. We won't come back for that one. But yeah, we didn't really want to go too far because obviously it's still early days in League One, but we are looking like good contenders for the league. Millwall and Wimbledon, both clubs in and around the playoffs, in and around promotion spots, so definitely wanted to come back for these two. I don't think I'm actually at the Wimbledon game. Let's go forward to the Wimbledon game. So we have now reached the Wimbledon game, and this is the team we're going with for the first fixture. We've got Teddy Sharman Lowe in goal, back four of Schmidt, Jamison, Evans and Stevenson, Yalcoy and Lindores in midfield, and then a front four of Potts, Ramsey, Mahuka and Thompson. As you can see, Mahuka, 15 goals so far this season. I'll be shocked if we get to January. And to be honest, I would expect a lot of teams to be in for our players. I imagine there's a number of players that championship clubs have got to be looking at how well we're doing in League One and thinking to themselves that they're worth a punt. Obviously, there is release clauses on a couple of the lads, but they're pretty big fees. So to be honest, if we did lose one or two, the fees are so big we could go out and replace those players. I'm sure of it. Haven't signed anyone else since the last episode. Obviously, we are pretty much just waiting for January now. I don't think there'll be anything too soon, but Thompson gets through early against Wimbledon. A very rainy day here at Mansfield, it seems, but unfortunately was offside. It remains 0-0 early doors, but yeah, we've been on such a good run. So today's episode, obviously, against two decent sides who are in the top 10 and the top 7 of the table, really. It should be a good test for us to see where we face against these teams. Obviously, we played Reading, who are also in and around the top spots, and we beat them. So I think we are just a good side. I don't think that's up for debate. In terms of January, I think we're mostly going to be looking at trying to maintain our team and keep the players we've got. If there's anyone we can sign potentially on a pre-contract for next season, anyone who's maybe not currently in England. Obviously, if they're in England, we can't sign them 6 months early. But players in Scotland and the like, and anyone who's just not in England, probably going to be Scottish teams, maybe someone from abroad. Who knows? If we can sign any of those, it's a howler. It's a howler from the Wimbledon defender. I mean, it wasn't the best ball in from Mahuka, but he just hooked it into his own net. He just kind of tapped it in. I don't know. It was really odd. Yeah, it's a very, very odd clearance. He's kind of just tapped it behind his goalkeeper. We do go 1-0 up with a Mahuka, kind of like with the assist. I'm going to give him the assist on that one, though it's not been credited. But yeah, in terms of signings, I think it'll very much just be if we can bring someone in who's on a pre-contract from, like a Celtic or someone like that from one of the better teams in Scotland, or, obviously if we'll take a look to see what's available in Germany, Spain, France, but realistically those players are probably not going to show up on our little database because we don't have the scouting that goes that far. I think very much it is just UK based at the minute. Being a League One club, that makes sense. So we'll keep an eye out, though. If anyone does come up from further afield, then obviously we'll take a look at them. But we've had a decent start. Obviously not conceded, which is great. It doesn't seem to have done much with our chances, though. We're a little bit probably fortunate to be ahead, but I'm not really too fussed because we do look like we've been the better side. So as long as we stay in front, then I'm not going to be complaining too much. But would like to see the front two maybe offer a little bit more today. Ramsey's not having a great game as well on the wing. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of players in our side where if there's offers for them, you're going to listen. Obviously, Mahuka is our top goal scorer, but we do have another striker in Kenny on the bench. So if we did lose him, it's not like we're downgrading to a terrible player. There is options. And then obviously someone like Ramsey, we could obviously just play Thompson out wide. What we probably can't afford to do is lose 2 or 3 of the same position, right? So we couldn't lose Mahuka and Thompson, for example. Obviously, Thompson's one of the more recent signers. Probably not going to lose him. But we probably couldn't lose 2 of them because we don't really have enough players to cover it. Obviously, we are maxed out on loans as well at the minute. I think there's a couple loans who don't. I think Ridgen is probably the only loan who doesn't really start. Kenny's obviously on the bench now, so there is potential for us to maybe replace those, send those 2 back, and then use the loan spots with maybe some better signings. I think Ridgeon at the very least will probably send back. We've got Lindores, we've got Yalcoy, and we've got Roddy. We probably don't need a fourth DM at the minute. We don't really have any injury issues with the two starters. It's mainly Roddy who gets the injuries, and he's not starting as much. He's not playing as much, so we're okay at the minute. But yeah, I think if we can maybe send him back, then we'll do that, and then we'll have a free spot for another loan where we'll probably look at maybe just keeping that if we need it. One of those. Ramsey makes it 3-0. With some good play there. Mahuka, I think, got 2 goals. Obviously, he didn't get the first goal. It was an own goal, wasn't it? But he did get one to make it 2-0 as well. But yeah, I think for the loan, we'll probably try and send Ridgeon back, and then if we can get someone else, a winger or a striker, I guess we'll kind of just leave it. I guess we won't try and replace him straight away. We'll leave it and then see who comes in for our player. Obviously, if we were to lose a Stevenson, for example, we definitely need to use it on a fullback. If we lost Mahuka, we definitely need to use it on a striker. So we'll just play it by ear with the loans. But obviously, we can only have 5 in the squad, and at the minute we do have 5, even though 2 of them sit on the bench. Obviously, the 3 starting are Potts and the 2 centre halves. Those are the starting ones. Wimbledon trying to go forward. It's a good bit of play, and they've got themselves a goal. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the block in there, and it is Mansfield 3, Wimbledon 1, and that was Michael Da Costa Gonzalez on the right wing, who's actually spent a little bit of time on loan at Hartlepool in real life this season. I was quite a fan of him, but he didn't really get a lot of minutes. But he was someone I was actually looking at in the summer for our club, but we couldn't get a work permit sorted for him, and he wasn't really good enough to use an ESC spot on, so we just kind of let it go. But clearly he's found himself a club in Wimbledon. Mahuga has to find Ramsey. I mean, that was a decent block, but he had to get there early. I thought it was going to be Thompson. Not sure why it's Ramsey in the middle there, but nevertheless, we are 12 minutes to go, 3-1 up. I think it's time to make a couple changes. Ramsey's looking tired. We'll put Thompson out on the left. We'll bring Kenny on up front. We'll also take Stevenson off and swap him with Schmidt and bring Twanzebe on right back, who, to be honest, Twanzebe's kind of lost his place in the starting 11, but every time I've brought him on, he's done a job, whether it's at centre-half or right back. I actually think I prefer him at right back than centre-half, which is interesting. The 2 centre-halves I've got on loan, I didn't actually expect either of them to be starters, so it's quite interesting how it's all worked out. But there you go, sometimes you have to adjust what you originally plan. I originally planned for Twanzebe to be one of the starting centre-halves, and he just wasn't really cutting it, so definitely swapping it has worked. Mahuka with another, I might even offer this lad a new contract in January and just give him a big pay rise and get rid of that release clause, because he is so key to us at the minute. He's an unbelievable striker. He's just scoring so many every single game. He is not single-handedly, but he is a big reason why we're doing so well. And we don't want to lose this lad. He is so good. We can't afford to lose him. We genuinely can't, because I think if we keep him, we get promoted this season. Whereas if we lose him, we could drop off. We could absolutely, without his goals, we could definitely drop off. We'll make a couple more subs, though, with not much time left. We'll bring Ridgeon on. We'll bring Snape on. And we'll bring Roddy on as well, make the final 3. Roddy, Ridgeon, and Snape. Professor Snape is definitely not as involved this season as much as he was last season, which is a shame for him, but he's not really cut out for it, to be honest. I think we were getting so many goals from him just because the tactic's pretty good. I don't think he himself is that great. But that's another thing with Mahuka. He's one of those where he could get a big move and then just not be able to do it in the championship. He could be one of those, there's a lot of lads like that in real life, isn't there, where they're very good at one level and then they make the step up and they just can't really replicate it because the defenders are better, just everything about, they just can't get in the game, they can't get up to the physicality of the league, what have you. Hopefully that's not going to be the case for us, because hopefully if and when we do get promoted, which is looking increasingly, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, but we did just beat a potential rival 4-1. I'd like to imagine a lot of these lads would still be with us in the championship, but there you go. I think Mahuka's actually showing as a championship player now. We are trying to bring in a trial, for someone who's out of contract at the end of the year. We'll take a look at him, but yeah, very good result. Let's go and play Millwall, an even tougher game. Got a bit of admin stuff in between the games. We did pass our latest badge, so we've got a Continental B now. We started studying for our Continental A. Mansfield are just pushing us straight through all of the badges, which is great. So we should get our Continental Pro probably by the end of next season, if not by the end of this season. I don't know how long these ones take. I think they're like 6 months, and the pro might be a year. So probably the end of next season, we'll have all of our badges, which will be great. That means that we are, looking a little bit better as a manager. Our reputation, I don't think, has gone up at all, but definitely these stats and stuff are starting to look a lot better. We've also signed a new contract at Mansfield. We were out of contract at the end of the year. We've signed an extension to the end of next season, and we're on quite a bit more money. I think we were on £800 or something before. Now we're on pretty much double that. So yes, they are taking heed that the other clubs will probably start to show a bit of interest for me. But we are playing our second game of the episode. It's against Millwall. There's a couple of tired legs because it's coming a little bit close after it, but we're going to power through, and hopefully we'll just make some changes if we need to. But same 11 that played Wimbledon. Like I say, we are cooking. We haven't lost a game in quite a while. A win here would even further increase our gap at the top. I think now, as much as I was saying, at the start of the season, it was top half, playoffs would be good. Then it was, playoffs is a minimum. Top two would be great. Now I'm very much thinking top two is a minimum. We want to be getting promoted now. And realistically, I think we should be going for the title because I don't. One thing I would think as well is I don't think it's a super strong League One this year. I think I'm looking at the sides that are in and around it. It's it's only you really sort of used to seeing sides like this in League One. There's no major sides that have dropped off that are down. Find themselves down here. Like Birmingham, for example, in recent times, a big championship club have found themselves down here. I mean, we've got Millwall and stuff, and Reading, who are perennial championship League One kind of teams. They bounce between them, so it's not crazy. I actually don't know when the last time Millwall were in League One, but I don't think it's that long ago. I could just be terrible with my history there. It might have actually been like 20 years or something. Mahuka with another on the turn, on the swivel. We're unbelievable. We're such a good side. Mahuka 18 and 17. He's got more goals than games. He's on like Ronaldo level stats at the minute in League One. He is absolutely going to have interest in him in the January window. We absolutely need to look at trying to get him a new contract. My worry is he's going to want an absolute bomb, which we'll have to see what he wants and we'll weigh it up, I guess. But at the minute, he looks like he looks like he deserves a big contract. Let's be honest. He deserves a championship wage. So we'll see what he's on now. I think he's on quite a bit now anyway. But we'll see what he wants. But if we need to get that minimum free release clause off him, I think it is like 10 million or something though. So to be honest, if someone wanted 10 million for a player doing well in League One, I mean, I feel like you just got to say yes. I think we've got about 2 million in the bank, so you got to accept that kind of offer anyway. It would be a shame, but I think we'd be. I don't know. I guess we'll cross these bridges if we come to it. But at the minute, we are just very much enjoying him being here. And to be fair, he didn't set the world alight in the first season. He got off to a bit of a decent start, then did start to slow down. But obviously, the rest of the side wasn't as good. We were very much. Oh, Thompson really unfortunate there not to get himself a goal. We were very much, just middle of the road last season. Obviously, we were coming into a side low on confidence and needing a big upheaval. We had to basically replace the squad 3 times over in 2 windows because we just signed players who weren't good enough, and then we've had to get rid of them now. Isaiah Jones picked up a big knock as well. We brought him on in the FA Cup game, and he got injured for 4 months, so it's going to be even harder to move him on. He's probably just going to sit here till the end of the season. That's terrible defending. Schmidt leaving it. Just absolutely losing his man. Millwall have equalised, but the goalkeeper just wasn't tracking that at all. He didn't get behind the ball, and he was just kind of stood in the middle of the goal. Very easy finish for Millwall in the end. Good ball in, but I think Schmidt's got to do better. I think the goalkeeper's got to do better. And those are 2 people who were out of contract at the end of the year, so probably 2 people we won't be planning on keeping, to be honest, past this season. There's a couple names where you look at it and go, actually, if we do get promoted, these lads aren't going to be good enough for the Championship. A couple of these were barely good enough for League One. I actually think, no, I tell a lie. We did actually extend Sharman Lowe's contract recently because he's been looking good, and now he's pulled a bit of a howler like that. But yeah, we have extended Sharman Lowe's contract. We don't need to worry about conceding because Mahuta's on unbelievable form. He's on fire. The boy, 19 and 17, 2-1 to Mansfield. And I think we are going to win the league title. I'm putting it in now, putting the predictions in now, unless something happens like an injury or we lose our player in the window, or we get absolutely rinsed in the window and lose all our players, which can happen. Provided all of that doesn't happen, I think we're going to win the league this year. I think at the very least, I think we're getting promoted. I think this time next season, we'll be in the Championship. I very much believe that because we're we haven't lost a game in ages. We draw the odd game here and there where the goal scoring is a little bit off. But other than that, we're just scoring so consistently. We don't concede a lot. We do concede goals. We're not, an unbelievable defensive unit. We do concede goals, but we just score so many. We score 2-3 a game. So even if we are conceding one, it's fine. And there we go. There's another Ramsey in behind. 7 and 17 for him, who's definitely not like a natural left winger. He's done very well on that side. He really has, learning this. It's obviously not a new position for him because he can play there, but he's not played there a lot. I think he's much more used to being a number 10. And he was, again, someone out of contract. No one else was really interested in him, which is interesting. But I think the system that I've kind of went for with the transfers here is paying a lot for some very good players and then filling out the rest of the squad with loans. But we haven't broke the bank on anyone. We've obviously signed free transfers and stuff. This Sanusi's a good player, isn't he? I'm going to take a look at him, see if he's out of contract at the end of the year. He's got 9 and 14, so he's obviously doing well. I think the goalkeeper should save that. But again, Schmidt didn't hold himself in the best, didn't look the best there. Kind of got played a little bit there. I mean, he is looking tired. I mean, there is a few tired legs in the back line, so a little bit worrying going into the half. And there's Sanusi again, getting round Schmidt once again. I think we need to take him off for his own good, because there he is again getting round him, and they could get an equaliser here, and they have done. And it's 3-3. I mean, it's a brilliant half of football for the neutral, but for us, I mean, it's great in front of goal, but at the back, I'm getting concerned because we've not been this poor at the back in a while. We generally are pretty solid. Like I said, we do concede some goals, but this is particularly poor. But they are a good side. We obviously know that. We've got some tired legs in the side, which we'll obviously have to deal with, and it looks like Mahuka has picked up a knock as well. That's not ideal. We'll take a look at that. We don't want him getting injured for real, so I think it's best to just take Mahuka off. Kenny's going to come on, and we'll actually take Lindores off for Shane Roddy as well, because he's looking really tired. Other than that, I guess we'll swap Schmidt over. We'll bring Twanzebe on. Yeah, this is not great. We've obviously got a lot of tired legs. It came not too long after the other game. But this Sanusi's on for player of the match. I thought Mahuka had it locked in after 2 goals and an assist, but he's done the exact same, and he's outlasted him on the field as well. 3-3 at the minute. Could do with a late winner. Could do with a goal of any kind just to get ourselves in. Obviously, we've gone with a little bit more of a defensive back line now with Twanzebe in, who's much more of a defensive fullback compared to Schmidt, who does like to get himself forward. We could always chuck Potts there if we were desperate for it, but honestly, if we just get a point from this game, it's not the end of the world. But we won't need to settle for a point because Ramsey's on form as well. 8 and 17 for Ramsey. It is 4-3. There's plenty of time left, though, for Millwall to get themselves back in. But that was another good ball in, another good delivery, and another good finish from Ramsey. 4-3, 20 minutes to go. We do need to make a couple changes, though, because, like I say, once again, we've got a few tired legs. Thompson's going to come out on the wing. We'll bring... Where's Shane Roddy? Not Shane Roddy. Where's Professor Snape? Oh, there he is. Thought I'd missed him. Snape, he's going to come on. He can play up front. Next to Kenny. We probably need another defender, but we don't have one. So I guess we'll just have to leave it for now. And the back two, Evans and Schmidt, who are both pretty tired, will have to just put up with it. But Kenny plays it out to Twanzebe, who's getting himself forward. Not natural for him. And with that level of cross, I'm not feel safe to say that was the right assessment, because that was just a big looper. And Millwall can counter, and they've found themselves through in the tired legs, trying to get back, just about put him off enough to make sure the effort wasn't great, and Sharman Lowe can pluck it out the air. Plays it short to Jamison. I never know if it's Jameson or Jamison. I like Jamison. I just think it's a funny name. Still 4-3, 15 minutes ago. Millwall with a set piece, though. Cleared. Thompson tries to get on the end of it. Doesn't get there, but Millwall's effort from distance is over the bar. Remains 4-3. If we can hold on to this is a fantastic win, because Millwall, clearly a good side going forward themselves, but kind of like us, we're both two good attacking sides, neither particularly unbelievable at the back. But Millwall aren't our main rivals for the title. It is very much Reading at this point, but you never know. Teams can always come back into it, so if we do get a win over a team like this, it just makes it that much harder for Millwall to mount a comeback. And at the very least, it separates us from them in just the promotion spot. Schmidt to Thompson. Thompson gonna go himself. It's a bit of a lazy effort from Thompson. I think he could have taken on his man. I think he could have tried to find a ball in the box. Instead, he's kind of just went for an effort from distance. And it wasn't great, let's be fair. It was not great. But not long left now. Not much time remaining. We've got some very tired legs out there, but for the last 4 minutes of added time, they're going to have to put up with it, and we've got the ball. Kenny plays it back to Roddy, off the bench, onto Yalkai, one of the tired legs, plays it to Twanzebe. He's got room to run into, but he goes back to his man Yalkai, back out to Twanzebe. We're getting closed down a little bit here, and Twanzebe with a great ball in behind for Potts. Can he finish? He can. Theo Potts is definitely not a regular goal scorer. As you can see, 4 in 17 is just an okay. It's a good record, but it's not unbelievable. He gets lots of assists, but very, very good for him. He scored. He's someone I'd love to bring in permanently, but I just can't see it happening. Millwall getting themselves forward, but I don't think it's going to matter. There's barely any time left. They do swing one in, well cleared by Twanzebe, I think it was. And Thompson does well to cut it out. Could find himself Snape here. Snape, good to get on the end of it. He is. If he's one thing, he's quick. Snape whips one in, finds Kenny, but unfortunately his effort goes wide. It remains 5-3, but we should still be winning this game. And there we go. Full-time whistle. It's another win on the trot. Still 3 points ahead of Reading, and that gap between us and the non-promotion spots is looking even bigger and bigger. I think promotion's definitely on the cards this season. I don't think, unless, like I say, something crazy happens, we should be okay for it. But that's going to do it for now. I guess we'll probably come back around January because, you know, if we're just going to be winning games, isn't that interesting, is it? So I guess we'll play a lot of games off camera. And I think we'll come back for the start of Jan and see where we are there. And you know what? That's actually great because we play Reading 3rd of Jan. So if they're still the ones, if we're still in this good form and we're still in a league title challenge, that's very good. Obviously, if we get anyone interested in the FA Cup before that, we might come back for that. But other than that, I think we come back for January 3rd. And we'll probably come back Jan 1st in the new year and then play the Reading and Gillingham games. So that's the plan, unless we get through the second round, which we should, of the FA Cup, and then get something interesting for the third round. That's, I think, where we're going to come back. So we've got a plan in place, and that should be good. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the UK Journeyman, and I'll see you all for more very soon.